What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Group podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back with Foundation Season 2, Episode number 8, The Last Empress.
Mhm.
There is no IMDb rating because we are reviewing this directly after watching it on a Thursday.
I just watched it. I was in the car
Me
driving. I
too.
watched it.
I
So.
just watched this joint, and it's just like banana
Yeah.
cakes. This joint is off the chain.
Well, I think this is one of the best episodes they've done, bar
Yeah,
none, because we have a lot of information.
yeah,
So we discovered that basically Demoiselle is she's taking leadership from Cleon the First
yep.
to this day.
hmm
And the other guys are irrelevant. They don't even matter. She's basically the empress
That's
of the
yep.
empire. She's running this thing by
He
herself.
he
And these
said,
guys
yep.
are shells. So
Wow.
that's crazy. Cause when Dusk started repeating that thing that she was there from the beginning and she's gonna be here for the future, whatever, kept saying it over. Like she's putting it in their brain that you
hmm
need me. You can't get rid of me. I gotta stay here, and I'm gonna teach you how to run this thing. But really, I'm running it. And we were talking about this a couple episodes back. We're like, Demoiselle's running this thing.
Yeah.
These guys are pawns, and it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense.
Dude, I mean, yeah, like he said, he was just like Demoiselle is the last empress, right? She's been
Mm-hmm.
betting, like I said last week, she's been betting the Cleons like for centuries
Mm-hmm.
since it started,
Yes.
you know?
Just making this thing, but she's in there. Once you start having sex, you're like, "Yes, dear,
Yeah.
That's what's going on with them. They're just following along. They don't even realize what they're doing."
Wow.
She
It's
tells them. So this, I think, because so we got to talk about the rescuing of Constant, which
yeah,
was crazy,
that was
and
dope.
I think that was the first time the Empire in general is like, "Oh snap, they can get to us." Like this is one of those action movies where they shoot at the boss, and he's like, "Oh shoot." Like we're really vulnerable here. These guys can get to us at any moment right now. There's nothing we can do about it. Like that's the first instant they've seen it. Because you had the tower thing that kind of blew up, and you had the tried assassination attempt on them. But
Mhm.
like on this scale, this is a whole other level. They can pop in anywhere, shoot you with something, pop right out. Nothing you can do about it. It's a wrap.
That's what you said last week. Dude, he unfolded. Obviously, when he jumps, they fold space. I'm just
Mhm.
by deductive
Yeah, yeah. We're
reasoning when they come
simplifying
out,
it.
right? You know,
Yeah, yeah.
he unfolded. He came out of jump. He came out of the jump
Mhm.
right on the platform.
Yes. That's
Like,
how you gotta think about how precise that is. That is crazy that they can
yeah,
fold space that precise that I'm gonna get to your doorbell and then I'm gonna ring it and then bounce. Like that's
yeah.
how precise they are with jumping. So that shows you they're way more advanced in the future. And so I think they kind of put two and two together because Dusk was like, let's go bomb this place. And Day was like, let's have a chat. Just in case.
Yeah.
Because think about it, like if you could fold space and be this precise, what kind of battleships do you have? Because that's just like a little tiny ship. That's nothing. Hold
You
like
know,
10 people in there.
you know what? When it came out of jump, I thought it
Mhm.
was an Invictus because it looked really huge, right?
Yeah, but that was the small ship
That was the small one, yeah, one of the whisper
that
ships. Hmm.
it popped out of nowhere
Yeah,
and stepped on their doormat and was like, what's up?
right on their doormat, dude. That
So
was
you guys think about it,
amazing.
like from Dave's perspective, he has to be thinking, well, these guys have hundreds. They got a bunch of planets. I would say hundreds. They have a few planets. They're surpassed us as far as technology and jumping.
Hmm.
So they also must mean they surpassed us in far as technology for weapons.
Yeah.
Like that's the logical step. If you can do this, you must be able to do this too. And that's why I think Dave was like, let's have a chat. Let's whoa, let's cool down for a little bit. Let's talk.
Well,
Because they
you remember like Harry said, like when he was talking to all the
Mhm.
different
Oh yeah,
factions,
yeah,
he was just like, listen,
yeah.
we can all get together and use the technology from the
Mhm.
Invictus and build more. So they
Yes.
probably took some of that technology from the Invictus and started building things right on the ground, huh?
Yeah, and see, you have other planets that have a grudge, so they're all in on this.
Yeah.
So they're going to give you the manpower and the resources to build as many starships as you need, and you've had 100 years to do it. Because you think about like, for now we have Teslas or whatever. What's 100 years from now look like for us in technology?
Yeah.
So this far in the future, what they can build starships to full space. Like, how much more advanced are they right now? Like, it has to be
I
nuts.
was about to say, let's hope that the technology hasn't advanced or lack thereof, like in Cosmic Sin, when they were wearing
Oh
like,
yeah,
shoulder pads, like dry. It was like 25, 25, the year 25, 25, and people were
yeah.
still
You got
driving
regular
like
show back.
pickup trucks. Come on. Come on, dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Some of this
Where's the
stuff
flying cars?
yeah, exactly. This stuff like the thing about Foundation right now for me is it's
Hmm.
it's not tainted with like any like rock music or anything like that. It's just straight.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you for bringing this up.
Yeah.
There, when you're watching this show, it gives you the feeling that this is the future.
Yeah.
They don't. They're
Exactly.
not trying to put present day anything into this. All the sets look futuristic. The way people talk is not like current day. They're not talking
Mhm.
with slang.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
they're talking in a way that seems like this is a foreign to us.
Right.
Like it's supposed to be.
They're not, what the other thing, the other thing they're not doing is like humans leaving a
Hmm.
spaceship, going on top of the spaceship, trying to fight spaceships flying over them, standing on top of a
Bro,
spaceship in space.
dumb,
Ahsoka, stop
dumb,
it, please. I'm sorry, I'm
dumb.
going other places here.
Yeah, we're in tangent right now. Well deserved tangent though.
Come on, you know what? One of the most interesting things for me in this show, and I want you to tell me what you think. One of the most interesting
Hmm.
things of this specific episode was for you is
Hmm.
when Dusk and Rue went into the wall and went into that like prism, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
they saw
yeah.
like Cleon One, and Cleon One was like, "What I want to know is, it was a prism. It was a prism,
But for
but for
who?
who? Was it for the robots? Was it for Demoiselle as they, sort of trained her to do whatever, programmed her to do whatever? What
Well,
was it for?
I think that their version of history is wrong.
Who's
Excuse
that
me.
version?
I think the Cleons, their
Yeah.
version of history has to be wrong. So
Hmm.
like their version of what happened to the robots, they're like you know what I'm saying? Like usually who takes control over something gets the right to history. And I think their version is skewed and they believe a thing that's not true
Yeah.
about the robots, where they came from, what
Hmm.
if you want the war, whatever. I think all of that's wrong. And especially because the way Demoiselle's in charge, she's super powerful.
Yeah.
The robot she is super powerful. How did you get here? How'd you work your way into this? How
Hmm.
come they're okay with you, even though they had a battle with robots and they're like destroy all of them? But you're like, nah, you're cool. Like, what happened here? There's
I
lots of we've got questions.
I thought when they were going into that chamber that they would see more robots, right? Again, I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
I'm from
I
the
did think that too.
I'm from the school that Demoiselle is not the last robot. That doesn't make any sense to me. You had this huge
Yeah, but
war with the robots. Like, Dusk was
mhm,
saying the robots were killing the robots, and then the robots were killing like the humans. It's just like you
mhm.
got rid of this entire species and left one robot. That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Exactly.
And you had the ability to
Mhm.
program the robot to do whatever you wanted to do. And all you did was
Yeah.
had one. You could have had servants, you could have had people cutting
Mhm.
your hair, people shining your shoes, all this stuff.
Yeah, like like Star Wars, there's robots for everything. There's a robot,
Exactly.
the hair cutting robot.
Right.
There's a robot to shiny shoes. There's robot. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
So I think in their timeline for Foundation, they probably had stuff like that. Then they turned them into servants, and then they had a war, and then you get to where you are now, where they just got rid of them. But they
Hmm.
still have some kind of robotic stuff, like the ships. The ship is AI, like obviously,
Yeah.
you
Hmm.
know, and Harry is AI, if you want to think about it like that.
Yeah.
His consciousness is in the computer. That's AI.
Exactly. Hmm. It's
So,
crazy.
they have the technology's there. They just don't have humanoid robots walking around, which is basically the same thing, though, if you think about it. But I that to me was interesting, but also I think that the the battle and the way Day responded to it, with a little help from his future wife, she's
Hmm.
playing. This guy is so whipped. Any type of female attention he gets, he's like, okay, I'll just do what you want. Like
Yeah.
he's so whooped.
Listen,
Yeah, it's
man,
crazy.
a touch from a female can do so many things, for real. A touch, a
True,
kiss, whatever.
true.
So, but you
But
know
like
what?
he's whooped from two different women. One's a
Right.
robot.
Yeah, but do you think that because that's Cleon the 18th. So do you think the previous
Mhm,
day he wasn't that sort of again, it seems like the virus or whatever, however they have been tainted. It
mhm.
seems like as the next Cleon comes up, it gets worse. And it seems like
Well,
that's a
it's not
little
even
worse.
worse. I think that they become more divergent, and that's the problem.
Okay.
Because the original, excuse me, the original thing was they would come out and they'd be the same. They talk the same, they think the same.
Hmm.
And now they come out, they're all different, slightly, just a little bit. Because we had a Cleon that was colorblind, which fell for a chick again. Like we had that Cleon. Then
Hmm.
we had another Cleon that what was the other one? They become more emotional. They're more distant from each other. Mentally, they think differently because before they're all in unison. Even the baby Klingon, they're all unison,
Yeah.
and now they're starting to be more different.
Hmm.
And that's an interesting way to destroy it. But from my perspective, I don't think it would matter. But it does matter that they all think different because they're trying to keep it as the first one. But if you're just cloning them and they have different thoughts, or whatever, it should be the same. It's the same as having kids, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because your
Yeah,
kids aren't
that's
going to be the
true.
same as your father.
That's true, man. Mhm. Let's get into Hober Mallow really quickly. He came with his whisper ship, came out
He
of came
came, he saw, he conquered, he
he
smashed. That's
he
what he did.
came out of exactly he came out of his jump directly on the doorstep, pun intended,
Hmm.
on the
Yeah.
doorstep. He came out of jump right there on the
Hmm.
doorstep.
Hopped out,
And
started blasting mofos and
yep,
rescued. That
for
was
real.
wild. That
That
was wild.
that was crazy, man. But even though it looked like Polly and Constant was about to be killed, I was like, "There's no way they can be killed." I'll
I
give you.
thought they were
Mhm.
gonna chop his head off. I honestly thought they were gonna chop his head off. I didn't think
That's
they were gonna get him
that's
free.
a that little device too. That's so much better than the guillotine, huh? The guilt, that joint
Hmm.
is so much better. But the reason why I was like, "There's no way that Polly or Constant can be killed," is because one,
Hmm.
Polly needed, she needed that thing. And there was no
Gotta
way
get the
you can
pipes
kill her
clean,
before
man.
she got that thing. She needed that thing, for real.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
Fair enough.
all this
Fair
stuff
enough.
going on, and that's the only thing she can think about once she was rescued by
That was
Hober Mallow.
wild.
And then they warped, like just, I keep saying I want to
Yeah,
use
it's good.
warp, but they say
They
jump.
fold the space. Yeah, they
Exactly.
jumped.
It's just like, so while they came out of space and went into cloak mode, she was like, "Hey,
Hmm.
let's get into it." I was like, "Oh, this is an inopportune time right here. I mean, we got like the 20th
Bro.
fleet right in front of us."
He said it was hundreds of ships or whatever. Like, how many ships did he say it was?
Yeah,
I
he
think he said
said the
hundreds.
entire planet was surrounded by ships. But remember, right?
Hmm.
These whisper ships, they can come out of jump. Next thing you know, it's like a million ships surrounding, like, the imperial fleet or whatever it is.
Yeah, so why did you jump away and then jump back on the planet? They could have done that.
I think at that point, like, it does take a little time to, like, get ready to jump. So
Mhm.
they probably didn't have that. And I also think that they basically had a lock on them, like, hey, if you go anywhere, we're just gonna, nuke you or whatever, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
so that
Well,
was
they got to
really
be faster
interesting.
than. I think they could have maneuvered it out, or possibly. I don't know. It seemed like it was written in the way for them to get caught. I think so. But like, you got to think about that kind of ship. They did a jump on a doorstep of the Empire. There's nothing they could do about it. I'm pretty sure
Nothing
they
like
can
that.
move past these ships.
Yeah. Or
Think about it. Like, if they're able to get that close to the Empire and they couldn't
Mhm.
stop it, there has to be a way to move around these ships.
but check this out though, right? Because it seemed like
Mhm,
all this stuff is by design. Like, Hoba Mallet
mhm,
going to Trantor, coming out of Jump,
mhm.
right on the doorstep. And now Hoba Mallet and Brother Constant being caught by, Bell in the 20th Fleet.
Mhm.
Maybe that was by design as well. Here's something else that could be by
That's
design.
possible. Like, you definitely wanna talk to them
Yeah.
because they're talking about mutiny. They're thinking hard about mutiny.
Oh, that's a
So
very good point because Bell, he was like, listen, come over here. We're going to treat you right, yada, yada, yada. Bell and,
yeah.
Glay is, Glay
Mhm.
wants to like, just a mutiny, just like, let's go and like
Yeah,
smash
he's trying to
everything
get
up.
out.
Right. He's trying to
He's
get
trying to
out.
get out of there, like, right now.
So
Yeah.
maybe Bell, you're right. Maybe Bell is like, hey, listen, maybe we can work together. Here's something else though, right?
Mhm, mhm,
So when Day's ship was about to go into a jump, the spacers got them together, right?
mhm. Yeah.
Do you think that the spacers, like something's about to pop off with them, and it started like, with, just
That's
preparing
possible.
him to, get
Here's
ready
the
to jump for
thing.
space?
With the spacers, I think they're really considering making that deal.
Yeah, I think so too.
But they're concerned about what's gonna happen to their kids or whatever, but, like, if you here's the thing, if you have full control over that and who can jump and who can't jump, them using their kids as hostage is not gonna work.
Yeah.
Because you need to jump more than you can use them as a hostage. Like, that's the more valuable thing. They can make more spacers. Like, it's gonna hurt as a family member or whatever, but realistically, if you can control the entire empire's movement, that's way more valuable than having the couple kids there. Like, let's realistically.
And what if
They
you
need to
want
move around.
Yeah. And what if you just wanted to go completely rogue and say, you know what? We're the spacers. We have
Mhm,
10% of our population that's, helping Trantor out with, just jumping and everything else. What
mhm.
if you're like, okay, you know what? We need to sacrifice 10% of our population to defeat the
I
empire.
don't even think you need to go that far.
Right.
Because here's the thing, you're super vulnerable when you're jumping somewhere, which they do all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're it's like going on the subway for them. Like they
Hmm.
jump all the time, every day, all over the universe. So the second people go into hyperspace or hypersleep, whatever the thing is they're going, you do the mutiny then. You
And
just
the,
tell all the spacers at the same time. The second these guys jump, take them out. It's a wrap.
and the only person that came out of like, when they were jumping, remember when Gail,
Mhm.
she came out of that sort of stasis when they were
Yeah, she's
jumping?
kind of awake. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, that for me, like, that was the only person who came out of that while they were jumping. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
but
that's
she's
going to
special.
be,
She's metallic.
yeah,
Everybody else is screwed. The second you go to sleep and you jump, it's a wrap for you.
yeah. So they
You
can
could be
do
shooting
every,
people in their sleep or whatever. You could do whatever you want to them. Throw them out the airlock.
wow,
You could
that
do
man,
so. You're so vulnerable. So that's what I'm saying. Like
mhm,
as far as the Empire goes, they have zero leverage.
none.
If all the spacers decide to get together, like we're not gonna let you jump anymore, you
Mhm,
have no leverage because you can't go anywhere. So
right.
wherever planet you're stuck on, you can't get back home.
Mhm,
It'll take you thousands of years to fly across the universe like that. They're stuck.
yeah.
They literally have no leverage against them.
And that would have,
You
because
need their benevolence to make this thing work.
yeah, because Demoiselle, she's not prepared by the spacer. She's a robot, so she doesn't need to go into stasis. So that
Yeah,
would have
yeah,
been a
but
really
she's only on
easy
one
way for
ship.
her to like take some DNA from like, Day and then just like tank the
They could
whole
do all
thing,
she
right?
could do all kind of stuff while they're sleeping. You could
She
just
can
thing.
do
You're
all
vulnerable.
types of stuff, man. Now if we your girl Sareth and Dawn, what is going
I thought
on?
she died at first. I thought when Hobart showed up and he saw the explosions and everything on top of the palace, or whatever, I thought
Mhm.
she was dead, and I was like, "Holy crap! I can't believe they would go there." But
Yeah,
she's like limp or whatever. She was still alive.
but
She's
the
hurt.
the first man who came to her defense or rescue was
Hmm.
Dawn. Remember, he picked her up, like
Yeah.
hugged her and everything. And like I think
Hmm.
Demoiselle looked and she was like, "Whoa, what is this all about?" And then next
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
you
she
know,
saw,
yeah,
but Day was too worried about the ship, so he didn't see it. I don't think he
right.
noticed.
Yeah. So man, they are like they
They're falling
are
apart. That's what's happening.
they are like doing some dangerous stuff. I mean, like your boy
Hmm.
Dawn, he basically took his nanobots out.
That's a wild move right there.
And had like, embedded Sareth. So
Mhm.
she could be pregnant.
Yeah.
How is
Yeah,
that gonna
but
work?
I think
How is that gonna work? Because aren't they taking her eggs away? They're not like having,
yeah,
intercourse.
they're not doing the baby thing the old-fashioned way. They're taking the eggs out and doing it in the lab somewhere. So, if she got pregnant like that
Mhm.
and they haven't even done it yet, so, like, there's all kind of questions there.
Like you
I'm like,
mean as a woman, right? As a
yeah,
woman, you
yeah.
would think that she would think that, okay, if I have sex with Dawn and I get
Mhm.
pregnant and then they go to take the eggs out, or maybe her plan is like, well, you know what, I don't want to take the
She has
eggs
to
out.
have
Let's
she has
just
to have
have like
sex with
regular
Day,
old
like, right
intercourse. Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Just to say she has to have sex with Day, like, right now, literally right now,
right.
and hope for the best. And you're still not gonna know.
You're not gonna know, dude. You know, okay,
I think
so
that's the dumb plan on her part. I think
that's
this is a
that was
terrible
that's the
storyline.
dumbest plan. That's the dumbest foundation plan. But you know what? It's like I don't know, man. It's just it's crazy.
She's
S-
desperate. I mean, you
She's
know
so
for a
desperate.
fact that they were coming to take eggs out of you. How could you get pregnant this way? This is obviously wrong.
And
You're gonna look at that like, "Yo, what the hell?"
yeah, and you know if they find out Dawn is gone and so is Sarah, they're gonna just straight swish you up. It's done.
Yes, exactly. This is
It's
stupid
crazy.
on her part.
It's crazy, man. So I hope they I don't know, but this is getting so intriguing, on the
Mhm.
eighth episode, and we only have two left. If we
This is a fiery episode.
if
This
we
is this
take
is
it,
very fiery.
yeah, oh my goodness, this is probably one of this up there for me for real. Now, if we go to
Mhm.
Ignis with your girl, your favorite character, tell him. Whoo! What is so we know
Soldier
that
Boy,
Gail,
tell him.
we know that Salvor didn't die. She just shut her up, like shut up, girl, that sort of
Yeah,
thing. Oh,
yeah,
she
they
did.
probably guess
I
she
did the
pulled her
two
out
fingers.
immediately.
She did the one finger.
It it looked like she drowned, though. I
Yeah.
will say that, though. They
Mhm.
filmed that in a way to make it look like she drowned.
Yeah.
I guess they immediately pulled her out and gave her, mouth to mouth or something like that, and just threw her in a well, which is wild. But so I this is an interesting thing that they're doing here because so she's just kidnapping people and taking their powers from them and enhancing her powers, which is that's wild. Like that
That's
that's wild in itself.
yeah. And do you think Lauren when Gail was saying help, 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 it seemed like Lauren was like, this isn't right, It seemed like he was saying
That's
that, like, this isn't
possible.
right.
This possible, but like I mean, like they seem to be the people there seem to be okay with this, or they're in a trance. Like
They're
maybe
in a
she
trance.
controlled
I
them the
think
whole
that's
oh
what it
crap.
is. Yeah, they're in a trance, But what's weird about the Metallics is,
Mhm.
do you do you think like any part of the foundation, even if you have the foundation one, the second foundation, even if you go to a
Mhm.
third, right? Even if the foundation expands, can they actually expand with an ethnic group, like with a group of people called the Metallics? Because they just like totally like put you in a totally different space, the Metallics, right?
I don't. The foundation needs like a whole population. I don't think you could just do it with these people.
I, I come from the place where you may have to get rid of them because they can like just put thoughts in your head, Like, why would you want
They
that?
they're dangerous. They're
Yeah,
dangerous as the robots by themselves.
yeah,
Like
for real, man.
because it's not even just like right now they're fine because they want to be left alone. But let's say somebody decides to go to someone's planet, like the mule, because that's the whole problem with the mule. Mule is using his metallic power, and he's just taking over planets and running it like that.
Yeah,
It's a similar situation there. So you have a rogue person using those powers against everybody else, and nothing they can do about it. So they're are under his control way in the future whenever that happens, and that's the same problem with having these guys. Like maybe they create the mule, maybe you know what I'm saying, like it's possible that this is kind of their fault, but yeah, having
mhm.
that kind of power is scary,
So
especially if you have people corrupted like Telum is.
tell him, yeah, she's got to go, dude. Now they skipped a little part, but they kind of showed it to us, when
Mhm.
when Harry was like, Salvor, you got to find, the prime radiant. It's on the ship. It's not going to look like what you think. And so it was
Mhm.
in her jacket. So I guess that's where Gail hid it, in her jacket or whatever, right?
Mhm.
So she was able to get that, communicate with like the other Harry, like in the vault, which was pretty
Mhm.
slick. That was pretty
That was
slick,
cool.
right?
That was
That
cool.
was cool.
Yeah.
And then she was able to bust out of the rock enclosure. And
Mhm.
so I kind of think that it's kind of easy to sort of like figure out the next step. Obviously, Salvor is going to come and save Gail. Gail, she cannot go through this thing, and if she does start to go through it, then maybe
Mhm.
like her powers start to come through, and then she's able to
Mhm.
defeat that. What do you think is going to happen in Gail?
I think Salvor's probably gonna save her,
Yeah,
and I think that they're probably gonna have either tell him dies or people defect from the whole cult thing they're doing over there.
right,
I mean, one or the other. I'm not sure which, but I think probably tell him dies, and then they just make a new allegiance or alliance or whatever.
right.
I think that's possible. Because
Because
it's obvious to me that they're under control there. Because like the kid helping her,
totally,
it's obvious that they don't all agree with what's happening. And I think they're in a
yes.
trance or something.
I was about to say that. I think that there are a lot of metallics that feel like, well, why do we have to
Mm,
kill people? I mean, why are there necessary deaths? Does that have to
yeah,
happen? You know?
and the way she takes over, like she's like a Black Widow type thing,
Yeah.
to stay in power,
Yeah.
which is like you know what I'm saying. Like at a certain point in time, some of these metallics are gonna be like, yo, why can't I be in charge? Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, you're gonna have that kind of mutiny thing going on their end. It's something the way she takes power and she's maintaining her power is
Yeah.
shady as hell.
Um,
So I don't think that they're gonna be okay with it.
and I also think, and we're gonna wrap this up. I also think that, or what do you think? Do you think that when Tellum is gone, all of the
Mhm.
rest of the mentalics, now their minds would be clear? Because like you said, they're kind of like in some sort of a trance right now, right?
Yeah, 100%. They're in a
Yeah,
trance.
yeah. So you
They're
think
like
that
she's
could happen?
controlling something. Yeah, yeah. I think that if Tellum dies or something happens to her, because she's old and she's already dying from
Yeah,
something right now. She's kind of illness. So like if she kicks the bucket, it's gonna undo whatever trance that everyone's fought under. Because like whatever it is, I think that kid is not 100% in it. He's like aware. He's like self aware.
yeah,
And I think there's other people that are just playing dumb, like they know what's going on. They're just not gonna say anything. But like the odds are, if Tellum kicks the bucket, then these guys are all gonna wake up and be like, "Yo,
yeah,
what the hell's been going on over here?"
yeah. Because I was about to say, I think the mentalics, all of them need to be destroyed. But I think
Mhm.
Tellum is the key. I think once she's gone, then everyone will like get these clear minds and be able to think clearly. And wow, what have we been doing? Just like
Yeah,
all this
yeah.
time.
It's like that's a dangerous power for somebody who's like, egomaniac like her.
Yeah, she's a
That's
megalomaniac,
crazy.
dude, for real. She definitely is,
Yeah, yeah,
man.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Keo, man, this was a great episode. This is Foundation Season 2, episode number 8, The Last Empress. What are you gonna rate this episode?
This is a 10. So many revelations.
Yeah,
The revelation about Demerzel and how she's really in power.
that is
You have revelation
awesome.
about like
Hmm.
what happened with Foundation, how they even got to the Hopper name in the first place. We found out the timeline that Salvor and Gail are way in the future, even if they're not way in the future, they're like slightly in the future, like maybe a couple months. They're a little bit ahead, maybe 6 months ahead. But
Yeah,
it's we kind of have an idea about the timeline because I was wondering that how far in the future are they? Are in the past or whatever? And now we kind of know they're in the future. They're ahead of the Foundation, so that was fascinating. Um, the Dusk figuring out that he's missing information, and Demoiselle has this thing implanted in him, so he stays like we need her rather than just
wow.
getting rid of
It's
her, which
crazy,
is
isn't it?
crazy.
Hmm.
That is crazy. And Rue coming clean with them, saying like, "Yo, we got our memories. We know exactly what you guys doing down here." So
Yeah,
that was interesting,
yeah,
and he may make a alliance with her to try and get the rest of his memories back because this thing is bothering him. He's been bothering him for like half the season. that he's missing parts of his
It's like,
memory.
why can't I think about what I had the other day for food, for dinner,
Yeah, yeah. So I'm saying like that's something that I think he's gonna go forward and do, and he's gonna discover some crazy things that he didn't know before. That's gonna affect his relationship with Day, 100%. There may be a mutiny. They may decant another one, but I don't know. There's something crazy is gonna happen between the brothers.
Yeah.
This is not like this is only the beginning of what's gonna happen for the rest of the season. Something crazy is gonna happen. They're gonna fight or something. I don't know what it is. One of the brothers is gonna die. I think that's gonna happen.
Yeah. I'm also going to give this a 10 because we can only go up to 10. So if we went up to 20
Yeah,
or
that's fair.
100, I would go to 100. But I'm giving this a 10. A lot has happened in
Mhm,
this episode. A lot was revealed. I think that some of the interesting story points were Bell, like basically
mhm.
not being militaristic towards Hober Mallet, but saying, hey, just do, we're not going to do anything. Come on board. We'll make
Yeah,
sure
just
you're
come on, we'll
taken care
talk.
of. Right,
We're gonna
exactly.
talk.
We're going to talk. And he really wants to talk because Glade was like, well, they did it.
Mhm,
Why can't we do it? Right.
mhm.
I think
Yeah.
the other interesting story is, and we've been talking about this, is Demoiselle. That's just
Mhm.
fascinating to me. I know what's going to happen to tell him. We know what's going to happen to tell him.
Yeah.
We know what's going to happen to
Top
tell
top
him.
story for me is Demoiselle. That's
Yeah,
number one story.
Demoiselle is it because, like I said, and I'm going to keep saying this, she is the
Mhm.
ringleader of everything, of
Yeah, yeah.
every single thing
Because there's another thing that I just thought about this while you're saying this. Even though the brothers could be divergent, she's the constant thing keeping them in line.
for centuries.
So for centuries. So
Hmm.
it's irrelevant that the brothers aren't copying each other correctly. She's in charge. They just don't know it. She whispers little things in their ear. So yeah, I'm very fascinated. I want to know more. Instantly I want to know more.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. This is this show, and we got 2 episodes left. This show is
Mhm.
so good. It is so good, man. And you know what else
Mhm.
is so really dope before we go about this show is,
Mhm.
so we're 8 episodes in. I there wasn't I haven't watched one episode that was weak. All of them were like,
Yeah,
eights
they're
and like nines
interesting.
and up, really, just like, wow, this is
Yeah,
crazy.
they're leading to something important. So you just gotta, keep watching.
Gotta
All
love
the
this show,
episodes have
man.
been like that.
And
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got 2 episodes left, so you know it's gonna get crazy. You
Mm-hmm.
know it.
Yes. 100%.
Well, there you have it. Thanks for checking out another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.